Hi, my name is Ophir Chen, and today I'm going to demo the ability to accelerate the process of creation Excel file within DT. As you know, DT supports the ability to do any-to-any format transformation. As such, it can do a transformation between any format and Excel file. You can do it manually within DT Studio, or you can do it in a little bit more sophisticated way that will save you time using the Excel generator import package. Consider the following example. You had a flat file containing two sets of data, looks like table data, and we got some template representing the Excel that we would like to generate. Multiple spreadsheets, different formatting, different colors, different objects within the Excel itself. And the idea of the process is that you create a template with a minimal number of rows that by multiplying them, duplicating them, you will be able to represent the entire structure. In this specific case, obviously, by multiplying row number 8 with the actual data of the table, I will be able to generate the complete Excel. In order to run the process, go into DT Studio, choose Import Project, give it a name. Then choose from the drop-down the Excel generator program. Once you do that, you need to browse into the sample data or the sample format of the Excel that you would like to generate. Press Finish. Then it creates a DT project for you. The DT project contains 3 script files. System we're not going to touch. Parser and Mapper are really different, and they are there in order for you to be able to handle the different input sources that you may have. If your input is XML, then you would use the Mapper to map between that XML and the XML that represents the Excel. If your input is anything other than XML, you would use the parser script. You can also see that an XSD was created, and the XSD really holds all the formatting information about the Excel. The only areas that we are going to have interest in are within every spreadsheet and the specific rows, the fields that we would like to really change the data value for. In our case, it's going to be row number 8. Let's see how it is being done. I'm going to use the parser, choose a local file. I'm going to point to the input file, flat file in my case, and open it within the studio. Now the task becomes a parsing task like any other parsing task. But what I need to keep in mind that the script already creates some sort of a framework for me to work within. The groups over here are really representing the different spreadsheets. Within each one of the groups, there are groups for each and every one of the specific rows. Whenever I would want to do a change to any one of the rows, I would do it within this specific group for that row. Let's create the actual parser. I'm going to create a marker that looks for that line. I'm going to tell it to go to new lines. After that, Then I'm going to start building spreadsheet number 1. It's really going to be a repeating group that iterates over the new line and builds row number 8 kind of data. Marker would come after iteration. Within each iteration of row number 8, I can have the limited sections, in my case, with a tab delimiting the data. This is one row, and those are the different sections. The tab comes, in my case, between the data sets, and the first value goes into the first field or the first cell within row number 8 and into the data cell. And copy paste the logic and apply it to cell G. This will be the contact. Do it one more time for cell number H, column H. Another one for I. And the last one would be for the telephone number at the end. Copy paste. Goes into cell J. The way that the process knows where to create each one of the rows is really by putting a value to one of the flags, one of the attributes that every row has. That flag is called row number. By default, it keeps the row number from the template, so it will always be row number 8 in this case. In order for me to say that iteration number 2 goes into row number 9, and then 10, and then 11, and 12, and so on, I will create, or I will set the value of a variable to be 7. That will be a variable, a built-in variable called cell counter. Sorry, it's going to be a row counter. Then I'm going to, for every row number 8 that I'm creating, I'm going to map the value of row counter and put it into spreadsheet 1, row number 8, the attribute called row number. Once I'm done, I can do $1+1 in order to increment that by 1 so that the next iteration would be 8, 9, 10, and so on. The reason I'm initializing it into 7 and not to 8 simply because within the process it starts counting at 0 and not with 1. Same thing I'll need to do with the spreadsheet number 2. I'll just insert the 2 markers that I add over there between the 2 groups, and I'll make a change for this marker to look for this string so that the tables are going to be bounded. I can copy the logic from here, or I can recreate it within spreadsheet number 2. Again, it will be a set value for the value of 7 into row counter, and then having a repeating group iterating over the new line and cutting row number 8, putting it in, then doing the delimited sections with a marker delimited of tab, coming between, and then starting to parse the actual data. Use case content. It takes the first value into spreadsheet number 2, row number 8, and going to the first cell. Doing it again for the next one. to be G, and the two telephone numbers H and I. Let's change that into after so that I'm not going to miss the first line, and I can see the highlighting throughout the document. Looks like it's picking up everything except for maybe the last line in the first table. Let's run the transformation and quickly see the results. I'll just change that to run without events. Choose the user parser and run it. If everything works fine, then an Excel file called out.xls will be created under the result file. The result folder, and this is the out.xls file. As you can see, getting all the information, table number 1 with the data coming from the source, and in this case, it looks like I'm not getting anything other than one line. It's probably the last line of data. The reason for that could be because we simply did not increment the value of the row counter in spreadsheet number 2. In order to fix that, I'm going into group of spreadsheet number 2, within the repeating group into row number 8, and then fixing the problem. Spreadsheet number 2, rows, row number 8, attributes, row number, and then the calculate value of $1 plus 1, and I can copy the parameter row counter. Let's rerun it again. Check the results. Taking the first spreadsheet and the second spreadsheet. Same idea of the row counter is applied to this thing over here. The created by was originally located in row number 9. In order for us to have it after the last row of the table, we need to make sure that row number 9 is also affected by the row counter. So what I'll do is I'll go into spreadsheet number 2 and say that row number 9 as well is going to map the row counter and override the original value, which was the number 9, now with whatever value this row has after all the row 8s have been created. I'll do the same for the other spreadsheet. Make sure to do it in the right spreadsheet. Close the Excel file and restart the process. Check the results. And you can see that the created by is being generated after the last line of the table. This demo is for the Excel generator. The package itself is not part of the product as of now. If you want more details or you want to obtain the package, you'd have to contact the B2B vertical team within the IPS organization. Thank you very much.